Hello and welcome to my predictions video for AEW Grand Slam. Now, I believe both Dynamite and Collision are going to be being... Dynamite will be live, but I believe Collision's going to be recorded directly after Dynamite or before on the same day as Dynamite. So I'm going to predict everything here so that people aren't saying, "Oh, I bet you just looked up the results and, blah, 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 blah." So, yeah. I'm going to work my way through all of the currently announced matches. I'm recording this yesterday at about 3 p.m. UK time. So if anything's been announced since then, soz. Basically, a day ago from when you will see this video, because it's being uploaded about 3 p.m. UK time now, like today, as you're watching it. So, so I'm just on the Wikipedia article, and I'm just going to work my way down, because it lists Dynamite first, then Collision, and then there's a TBA one that I think I'll slot in between, actually, because it's not been announced which show it's going to be on, so I'm going to put it between Dynamite and Collision. So, let's start things off with the Young Bucks defending the AEW World Tag Team Championships, World Tag Team Championship, singular. There are 2 belts. There is 1 championship against Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. I feel like the Young Bucks win this. The story with the Don Callis family and Will Ospreay seems to be friction. Pretty obviously, like he's barely even a part of the family at this point, honestly. But I don't know. I don't know whether Kyle will end up with Will or with Callis in this split, but either way, I feel like there's going to be some disappointment at them not having won the AEW World Tag Team Championship to fuel that storyline. Will there be a big blow up there and then at Dynamite Grand Slam? Quite possibly. Like, I don't know, but I'm predicting the Young Bucks to retain. Up next is Mariah May defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Yuka Sakazaki. Mariah May is winning that one. Do I need to elaborate? I feel like this is pretty obvious. Like, surely. Next, Hook defends the FTW Championship in an FTW rules match against Roderick Strong, who will be accompanied, according to Wikipedia, by Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. How they can possibly know that in advance, I don't know. But, so despite the fact this is going to be FTW rules, so the Undisputed Kingdom will be able to get involved as much as they desire, I don't see Hook losing to Roddy Strong here. I think Hook retains and hopefully then retires the championship, because I think it's run its course in AEW now. It was fun to bring it back in the early days, put it on Ricky Starks, and have Team Taz have that, and then it's naturally ended up on Hook, which is great, Taz's actual son. So yeah, really good. But I think Hook is almost being held down. He's almost being weighed down by that title and can't really move up the card until that title's been put to rest. Because whenever he holds the title, that's his focus. Whenever he doesn't hold the title, he should hold the title. It's his dad's title. So, it just feels like it's always going to be weighing him down until it goes away. So hopefully it does. But yeah, I'm predicting Hook to retain. Up next is the Will It Happen, Won't It Happen match. Bryan Danielson versus Nigel McGuinness. I think it'll happen. And I think Bryan Danielson will win. Nigel McGuinness, I don't think is coming back to the ring to have any sort of world title aspirations. I think it's more just a desire to get back in the ring, finish his career on his terms, that sort of thing. He's talked at length about how he basically stopped wrestling because he failed a WWE tryout because of I think an arm injury that wasn't even bothering him. He was perfectly capable of wrestling with, but they failed him on that. And so he had to stay sort of in Ring of Honor and on the Indies because there was obviously no AEW back then. And he couldn't afford, basically, to sustain himself and wrestle as a full-time profession at that point. So he had to retire, which must have sucked, really sucked. So Yeah, I think this is more about just going out on his own terms, and also just telling an interesting story with Danielson. But I don't see McGuinness winning here. Danielson's the world champion. Unless they're going to give McGuinness a world title shot off the back of this, off the back of beating him, I don't see any reason for him to win. And if they were going to do that, it's going to really muddy the waters with the Jon Moxley, Darby Allin situation, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm just going to predict Bryan Danielson to win. With a secondary option of Bryan Danielson actually isn't kayfabe cleared to compete, and they stretch this out a bit longer, and Nigel McGuinness maybe declares himself the winner via forfeit or something. But I think by the way they've been building it, they're building for the moment when probably Europe hits the final countdown. Probably. Maybe his other theme, but, you know, either way, I think Bryan Danielson will win. And then what I assume, well, what is the main event in terms of stakes at the very least? Danielson and McGuinness might be a running thing all night and might go on last, but Moxley and Darby Allin might open for all I know. But in terms of stakes, at least, this is the main attraction, isn't it? Jon Moxley challenging Darby Allin for Darby Allin's AEW World Championship opportunity at WrestleDream. This is a really interesting one because there's been a lot of rumblings of Darby Allin being like next in line, potentially as the world champion, maybe even dethroning Danielson. But then there's also this whole thing with Jon Moxley and Marina Shafir and Claudio and Pac, where like, does it take the wind out of their sails a little bit if Allin just wins here? And like, if they're still going to do Darby Allin versus Danielson, it feels a bit of a weird roundabout way of doing things, of cancelling the match, but then having Nigel McGuinness build a match with Danielson instead, and then having Jon Moxley challenge Allin for the number one contender spot just to lose, and for the match to still happen anyway at WrestleDream. So I can see this going one of two ways. One, Danielson doesn't show up, and McGuinness declares himself the winner by forfeit, and then Darby Allin beats Jon Moxley, and this was just a way of pushing back the match to WrestleDream for whatever reason. That's one possibility. The other possibility is Bryan Danielson does return, and in that case, I kind of think Jon Moxley wins, because otherwise, why are you doing this? And the big feud at the moment is Moxley-Danielson, which feels a bit bad for Allin, but I think Danielson would beat Moxley, and then Darby Allin can maybe then get his opportunity back and beat Danielson a bit down the line, because I don't think we're ready for the title to come off Danielson yet anyway, so it might be postponing that if Darby Allin really is the guy lined up to beat Danielson. So yeah, I'm going to pick Jon Moxley here to win. That's my final pick. I think he's got the momentum of... I use this logic a lot and it bites me on the backside a lot, but he's got this recent turn and new character that you sweep the rug out from under if you have him lose. And also just, I think you delay Danielson Allin. It's the only reason I can think of why this is the card for Grand Slam instead of Danielson versus Allin, right? So, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to pick Jon Moxley. So just to recap Dynamite really quick, I've got the Young Bucks retaining, Mariah May retaining, Hook retaining, Danielson the world champion winning, but Darby Allin losing his number one contenders status to Jon Moxley. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to see on Dynamite. Now, unannounced which show it's going to be on, so I'll cover this next, is Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club versus TBA in an open challenge trios match for the World Trios Championship. I don't know who this is going to be. Maybe someone like Bang Bang Gang. Are there any free agents that are like currently lining up? I don't think there really are they? Especially not like trios. Not that I'm aware of, anyway. But someone like Bang Bang Gang or the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, some babyface team that will get a pop when their music hits. If it's done on Dynamite, it could be the conglomeration, but they're busy on Collision, and it's probably not, because this is kind of being portrayed as like a two-parter pay-per-view, so I doubt anyone will be repeating even across shows. I'm going to go with the Bang Bang Gang, and I'm going to go with them to win, because this story with Wheeler Yuta not being in on the plan, I feel like should cost the Blackpool Combat Club their trios titles. It was a good way to bring Pac into the fold, having win the trios titles. It was a really good moment for Wembley, for Pac, to win a title at Wembley. So yeah, I think it served its purpose, but I don't think it needed to be a long run. So I think they're going to lose here. I think, yeah, I'm going to pick Bang Bang Gang, but almost no matter who they defend against, I think they're going to lose the trios titles here. So yeah, Blackpool Combat Club and Pac, who's still listed separately at the moment. I don't know what the deal is there. They're going to lose, in my opinion. And finally, on to Collision, which honestly seems to be kind of listed in reverse order on Wikipedia, so I'm actually going to work from bottom to top of the Collision matches, just to confuse things even more if you're following along on Wikipedia. So we've got a triple threat match between the Beast Mortos, Hologram, and Dralistico. I'll be honest, I don't know who Dralistico is. I've been watching AEW for like all shows solidly for a while now. I don't know who that is. Has he been on Ring of Honor? I've not really been watching Ring of Honor. Hologram, I think, is undefeated. Still in AEW. Beast Mortos is like presented as this big beastie threat, but takes losses just fine, it seems. I'm going to pick Hologram, probably to beat Dralistico and protect Beast Mortos, but yeah, I'm going to pick Hologram to win that match. They seem to be bigging up he hasn't lost, for whatever reason. I don't know what sort of the end goal of that is yet, but they seem to be milking that a bit on commentary and what have you, so I'm gonna go with Hologram. Up next, Tornado Trios match. The conglomeration represented by Mark Briscoe, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy, taking on the Learning Tree, which is Chris Jericho, Big Bill, and Brian Keith. It's kind of tough. I sort of hope the conglomeration win. They've got the Ring of Honor World Champion. They've got Orange Cassidy, who's supposed to be quite a big deal, but seemingly can't break out of that sort of mid-card vortex, that Jericho vortex, to be honest, back in there again. Yeah, let's just go with the conglomeration. I really don't know with this one, though. It could go either way. Yeah, conglomeration. Let's just predict that. Kazuchika Okada versus Sammy Guevara, and this is a Continental Championship Eliminator match. If Guevara loses, he can no longer challenge Okada for the title for as long as Okada is champion. And if Guevara wins, he'll receive a match for the title at Dynamite's 5-year anniversary show. So this is interesting because, like, Guevara is currently Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion with Dustin Rhodes, so he doesn't really need a singles title. And I don't think he'll get a singles title, but could he win here just to put a match on the 5-year anniversary show card? Like, possibly. Does Sammy Guevara in any universe beat Kazuchika Okada, though? The fact that I'm entertaining this is wild. Think back a couple of years to New Japan Pro Wrestling, Kazuchika Okada, top of the mountain, like, say this was at Forbidden Door, they did Okada, Sammy Guevara. Would anyone have entertained the prospect of Sammy Guevara winning that match? Not even a little bit. So, it feels a bit of a fall from grace for Okada, to be honest, that I'm even entertaining this. They can just find a new opponent for Okada for the 5-year anniversary show. I don't see Guevara winning this. If they do, he certainly doesn't win the title. If he does, he certainly doesn't win the title. He'll lose the rematch at the 5-year anniversary show. But I'm actually going to pick Okada here. Yeah, it seems weird to sort of semi-advertise a match, but then just not do it. But I think that's what they're going to do here, because I just can't see Okada losing to Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara's talented and everything, don't get me wrong, but, like, he is the lowest on the totem pole of the 4 pillars by some distance. I've talked about this before on this channel. So, yeah, I just can't see it. Up next, we've got Jamie Hayter versus Saraya in a Saraya's Rules match, which is basically Saraya has no rules and Jamie Hayter has all of the regular rules. Yeah. And I think they banned hammerlocks or something. I missed what the actual move was that they joked about, but yeah, they just banned that move, which is, you know, for a bit, I guess. This is interesting because, again, with the way it's been set up, this could be to go one of two ways. It could be to stack the deck so heavily in favour of Saraya that her winning doesn't mean much and they do the blow-off properly down the line. or it could be to really build up Jamie Hayter for overcoming all of these odds to still beat Saraya, even though it was Saraya's rules. And I'm a bit torn between the two, to be honest. I'm gonna pick. Oof, I really don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, by the way, on all of these matches. Like, who you think's going to win, why I'm right on some, why I'm wrong on others, you know, that sort of thing. Sorry, just wasting time while I try and think this through. Do I think Saraya's going to win because of the rules, and then they have a more fair rematch? Or is this the actual blow-off where Hayter wins and then moves on? I'm gonna go with Jamie Hayter, but I don't feel confident about it. Like, this is a real 50-50 for me. Like, I could fully see them just having Saraya win here and then have a more sort of equal rules rematch at some point, for sure. And finally, let's move on. I'm still not sure about that previous one, but let's just move on to Jeff Jarrett versus Hangman Adam Page in a Lumberjack strap match. Now, this is interesting because I believe all of the Lumberjacks are enemies of Hangman Adam Page, people that have, quote, got in his way of trying to take down Swerve Strickland. I think Dark Order are there. I can't remember who else Jeff Jarrett listed now. But, like, basically anyone that Hangman's had, like, a mini feud with, or even just, like, an altercation backstage or something, they're all just going to be surrounding the ring. So, this is kind of heavily favouring Jeff Jarrett in terms of the Lumberjacks outside the ring are kind of all on his side. But even with that said, I don't think having had Hangman Page win that brutal cage match against Swerve Strickland, especially in the way he did, I don't think you then have him lose to Jeff Jarrett, like, no matter how many friends Jeff Jarrett has. I just think Hangman Adam Page has to win this. I could see this story being prolonged by the fact that everyone hates Adam Page, so they actually helped Jeff Jarrett get the win here. But honestly, I'd like to see Page get the win and then move on to maybe sort of individual feuds with people that have said the wrong thing about him, or, you know, whatever, rather than that route. So I'm going to pick Hangman Adam Page. But again, I could see that I'm more than 50-50 on Adam Page. I'm probably more like 75-25, but I've still got like 25% of me saying Jeff Jarrett could win this, you know, which is, again, wild. Just like it's wild that I entertained Sammy Guevara beating Okada. You know, it's crazy. So, yeah, anyway, so let's do a recap of the Collision matches, and also the TBA match of where it's going to be. I've got Pac and the Blackpool Combat Club losing the Trios title, and I'm going to say it's Bang Bang Gang, but I don't know. But they'd be a fun pick, I think. Then I've got Hologram winning the Triple Threat match on Collision. Got the Conglomeration beating the Learning Tree in the Tornado Trios match. I've got Okada beating Guevara. I've got Hayter beating Saraya, and I've got Hangman Adam Page beating Jeff Jarrett. Let's add those to the Dynamite predictions that I made earlier as well, and that's my predictions for all of Grand Slam. Let me know, like I say, in the comments what you think is going to happen. And why, you know, like especially if you disagree with me, I'd be curious to hear why. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe so you can watch my reviews. I'm going to do a review of each show. I'm going to do a Dynamite review and a Collision review the day after. Well, I suppose because I'm in the UK the day of, like, because it's at 1 AM here, so it's the same day. But for anyone in America, the day after. And yeah, share with your friends if you think they'd like to get involved with this discussion. But for now, all I have left to say is thank you very much for watching. As always, I've been EBEZA, you've been amazing, and I will see you next time.